Nah, Mike, I already know it.
Eh,
I already know you're gonna have some heated takes today.
eh, we shall see.
Now, I ain't no we shall see, fam.
We shall
I'm
see.
already expecting a classic pod from Mike B the Cool, y'all. Just letting y'all know. If I don't get classic Mike B, I'm gonna be disappointed. Some Do Pod 137. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download. Wherever you get your favorite podcast, go ahead and get that merch.
Yeah, dude.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Some Dude Pod. Hell, follow the hashtag Some Dude Pod on Instagram. Great show for you today.
Yeah. Don't let Mike Will send you off, dog. Don't cop that Henny.
I'm not.
Don't cop the Henny. Right and bring it back. They gonna have you in cuffs.
No, I already told you.
They gonna have you in handcuffs.
I'm afraid of bringing stuff back. I'm afraid of getting drunk. I don't want. Hey, look. I gotta go on a cruise next year for work. And
work?
Yeah.
Work? They doing cruises now?
I gotta cover I have to do my regular job. I have to do my content job. And we'll be aboard a cruise from the 20th to the 27th.
Next year, you said?
Next year. So on my birthday, I'm going to be on a boat.
That's fire.
I don't know. I've never been on a cruise.
I've been on a cruise, but it was like when I was in third grade or something for a family reunion.
Yeah,
I can't even recall. I don't even remember anything about it.
Mike. I'm a little nervous.
Scared of the water? Scared of the water?
I'm not necessarily scared of the water. I can
get seasick.
I mean, I've never been on a boat that far out in the water, so I don't know. I mean, I've been on boats. I've been on like the Spirit of Chicago and shit. I was drinking.
My uncle in Milwaukee, he got a boat. Not like one of them little small boats, the one like a personal joint that you could ride in and put like a few people on that motherfucker. He had me and my brother on there. I was driving that mug, man. We was on Lake Michigan. That shit's nice.
Did y'all have the ladies twerking on the
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. No, it wasn't nothing like that.
It wasn't like that.
No, like that. But it was nice as hell, man. And you could like ride through. You could get out there on the lake, and then there's a lot of people that stayed like downtown Milwaukee. There's
a downtown Milwaukee.
Yes, very much so. Just think of downtown Chicago, just smaller, very smaller, like 10 times smaller. You know what I'm saying? Just think of it that way. But like they got like.
My cousin's gonna hear me say that. Like, what the fuck you mean?
Yeah, relax, man. Like downtown Milwaukee is like, Milwaukee is really not like a small city. It's small, but it ain't like Indianapolis small. Indianapolis is very small. So
Cleveland has the smallest downtown for me. Cleveland shit like 3 blocks.
Okay, Indianapolis they downtown area looks very, very little to me. That's just my personal opinion.
You got restaurants.
Yeah. I haven't been to Cleveland, so I don't know. But Milwaukee
got like 3 blocks.
Milwaukee's not downtown, but like I was saying, they got like apartments and like condos and shit. Like, and then people, they houses, they backyards is like is the lake. So people got boats out there, like and you could just at any point in time, you could just literally just hop on your boat and you could just go out on Lake Michigan, whatever you want to.
Why my cousins never took me to downtown Milwaukee to kick it? I'm upset. Like we go to Hole in the Walls and play darts.
Bro,
we supposed to be downtown. We supposed to be walking down the Milwaukee lakefront.
You could go down there. You could go down there like Milwaukee has Summerfest.
Yeah, I know
every year. So you could go down there and you could be on your boat and you could be watching the people like at one of the Summerfest stages on your boat. You could have a free concert on the boat, man.
Man, my cousins them ain't treat me well going to Milwaukee. I'm upset.
But you say you ain't a water guy. You got to be a water guy though. Because
I mean, I'm technically not. I mean, I'm a water guy. I'm just saying not on the water. Like I haven't. Okay. The only amount of time I spent on the water is really like the Spirit of Chicago during prom. I ain't never went nowhere. Right?
But yeah, it'd be
but dang, I ain't never kicked it in downtown Milwaukee. I want to see what that do. I don't know what happens. Like,
nice.
I'm 40 years old. I've been going to Milwaukee since I've been 6. And I don't even know what downtown Milwaukee look like.
Hey man, it's nicer than what you think, man. Nicer than what you think.
I
So
am
just look at it.
sorely disappointed in my cousins.
And obviously they got a great the Pfizer form is nice as hell.
Man,
When you
well,
can
you
feel
ain't never take me there, so
this year coming up. I got you, man. Don't trip.
yeah, this year.
Anyway,
It's now we're in 2 seasons of doing this goddamn podcast.
Well, the first season, look, just relax, man. All right, chill.
If I was Christian,
We are in there. We hit the
let's go, bro. You
We
know
will
what I'm saying?
be
I
in
guess
the-
I'm not
Oh,
your
God.
brother, so I can't go.
Oh my God, fam.
It
It ain't like that. It ain't like that. Ain't like that at all.
What? It's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the first trade thing we heard today. Kevin Durant apparently met with the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, Joe Tsai, and he not only reiterated his trade request, reportedly, allegedly, he made an ultimatum that said that it's Steve Nash and Sean Marks, who's of course the head coach and the GM, or it's me. This is why I said this is going to be a classic pod. Now, before I let Mike talk the way I know he's going to talk,
come on, man.
Let me explain my confusion.
Yeah,
because I'm confused. Now, I am a person that would love Kevin Durant to be on the Chicago Bulls, so I'm not going to,
of course, engage
in disrespect of my future for the Chicago Bulls. It's either us, Toronto, or us, Toronto, or
is the Miami Heat still in the picture?
I don't think so. Because Bam, you can't trade Bam Adebayo in a trade with Kevin Durant for some
Boston. I'm pretty sure Boston.
Boston's probably still in it. But let me explain my confusion.
They said the Bulls were still in the picture?
No, I'm just saying that I would like for them to be.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I would like to see a trade with Vucevic.
They just said they want to extend Vooch.
Yeah, I know, I saw that, but I want to see Vooch, Pat Williams, Kobe White, some pick swaps, and that Portland pick for Kevin Durant. And the player to be named later or whatever. I don't know, but let me talk about my confusion here, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm perplexed here. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant talk about teaming up together. The rumor was it was going to be the Knicks. It ended up being the Brooklyn Nets because reportedly, allegedly, Kyrie Irving was like, hey, let's go somewhere and create our own legacy. You got that, right? So then from there, Kevin Durant has the Achilles injury, and Kyrie Irving is oft injured. And their head coach at the time, Kenny Atkinson, is like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I quit. He quit. He didn't get fired, ladies and gentlemen. He quit. Jacques Vaughn becomes the head coach. The pandemic and all of that happens. Jacques Vaughn has a good bubble. Caris LeVert is killing in the bubble. The team is scrappy, fam. They in playoff contention. The team is scrappy. So it's like we got a scrappy team, and then you got Kyrie and Kevin Durant with some decent cap room. This should be nice. But Kenny says, I'm out. They don't keep Jacques Vaughn as the coach. In fact, they signed, let me not forget. They also had signed DeAndre Jordan and gave up one Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Who ended up becoming an all-star and a pillar for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Instead of getting an experienced head coach or an experienced assistant coach like a Sam Cassell, looking at a D'Antoni off the bat, for some strange, odd reason, they say, hey, let's hire Steve Nash. And Kevin, what do you think about it? I was with Steve at Golden State. He was like in player development. I like him.
I was about to ask. They had a relationship in Golden State.
Yeah, we had a relationship. Yeah, I'm cool with it. So he he co-signs the hiring of Steve Nash. And that's when we get Stephen A. Smith in the epic episode of First Take, where he talks about how black men would not get the job that Steve Nash got. Which I don't blame him in that. We talked about it on the show. Check the archives. We even named the podcast, that episode after that. D'Antoni becomes the assistant coach. My bad. D'Antoni becomes an assistant head coach, the lead assistant head coach. They even signed Amari Stoudemire as an assistant. Mm-hmm. And you know, KD is signing off on these things. He's cool with these things. But Kyrie Irving goes on the podcast and he says, you know, hey, anybody can coach this team, you know. So we already see where this is going. And they go to the playoffs, and they are a foot away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks in what the Eastern, no, not the Eastern Conference Finals, but the semifinals. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mike.
Correct. Because they would have played the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Just wanted to make sure.
Correct. Go ahead.
They end up losing that, and we're thinking, you know, hey, with this team right here, this team should be lit, man. We should have a pretty decent team to compete for the Eastern Conference Championship and go to the finals. But the pandemic is going on, and they have COVID protocols, and Kyrie Irving says he's not going to get the shot. And Kevin Durant's like, hey, I can't make that man do what he want to do. They also, within that, get James Harden. So you got James Harden's like, hey, we got all these things going on, and you got the shot. Kyrie don't want to take the shot. Hey, it is what it is. And that kind of messes up team chemistry. Joe Harris is hurt. You start seeing some friction between their big three to the point where James Harden says, I'm out. Trade me. He gets traded to Philadelphia. Ben Simmons comes over. And an interesting thing that I learned through all of this is Ben Simmons was expected to play in that game against Boston, that last game, and they had him in a text group. He's like, yo, Ben, you playing? Ben left the text group.
I call cap on that story, but go ahead.
It's Ben Simmons. I don't know.
I call cap on that, but you know,
nobody denied it. Nobody say, all right, now that's preposterous.
I mean, I don't think at this point nobody's gonna actually come out and say anything about that.
Nah, I'm thinking that one's like, fam, for real.
I call
but anyway, I'm not gonna call cap on anything because all of this shit is coming out at the same time.
Yeah.
And reputable people are saying this. It's not like, you know, random Instagram account with 50 followers are saying this. Mm-hmm. This is reputable people who cover the NBA are saying all of these things, including Kevin Durant is wanting the ownership to choose between the guy who he co-signed and the general manager who put together a pretty good team, Mike. This team has the ability to compete for a championship. If it's anything that I want to call cap on, is this. Choose them or me. Especially now, where we are so deep into the NBA offseason, the draft has happened, free agency has happened, and now you want the coach to get fired?
We what a month away from like training camp or some shit? Like
training camp is around the corner, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Even as from the Steve Nash thing, I totally get it. Why do I totally get it? It's simple. I don't believe he should have been the coach anyway. I don't think he's a good coach. He doesn't know how. He's never been a coach. This is not a Doc Rivers situation or other first-time head coaches that may have came out of the booth and became a head coach. Steve Nash looks clueless out there sometimes. And I don't think he has a strong offensive coaching staff that can help him. Like, you look at a lot of people that become first-time head coaches, they have a strong staff and with them to help them succeed. And I don't think that the Nets have that or had that. But this is all going through Kevin Durant. And now Kevin Durant says, I don't like the direction of this franchise. I want out when 95% of the direction of this franchise has went through Kevin Durant. I'm just confused and would love Kevin to do an in-depth interview where I don't care. Kevin Durant could do an interview with Amar Rashad. He could do an interview, with
Stephen A.
Stephen A, even though they don't get along, it looks like, or Kevin Durant. It could be with Malika Andrews. It could be with Richard Jefferson. It could be with whoever. Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy. I don't care.
But we need some
Ernie Johnson. But Kevin Durant needs to talk. Because if it was any franchise that literally was set up at the behest of a player, it is the Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant. And now he don't like the direction of the franchise, and now he wants out. I will say, before I pass it over to you, this looked worse than him leaving Oklahoma City. Very much worse, because the franchise said, here, let us know what y'all want to do. He signs an extension. They do damn near everything he wants, and he don't want to be there no more. I'm confused. I'll pass it over to you.
Man, you hit it right on the head. Confusion is where we are right now. It is where I am at. I'm every single word perplexed. You use the word perplexed. I'm confused. But you know what? It's one thing I'm not, and it's shocked. I'm not shocked at this point at Kevin Durant. Slightly confused, yeah, but I'm not shocked though. I'm not shocked the least bit, because I called this shit a long time ago when I said that if there were ever a chance that this man would actually ask for a trade, that would be the biggest whole move in NBA history, and Kevin Durant didn't fail me. Now, he reiterates he wants a trade, and all of a sudden, here he is making demands. The problem I have with this, fam, is this is not good for him, and it's not good for the NBA, the future of the NBA. This man is out here telling GMs and owners that it's me or the coach. I can't even imagine any other players doing this. Like, when people bring up LeBron being like a GM and LeBron going to Miami, none of that shit falls into this category of what Kevin Durant is doing right now as far as the Brooklyn Nets is concerned. Especially when you look at his team that he has right now on paper going into this season. That is a winning team. What are we doing right now, KD? What are we doing? I'm like, this is not good, fam. And I don't like the fact that these reports are coming out that KD is out here making demands, bro, because now you're going to see more of this shit happening. And I don't feel like these players, especially when you sign extensions like the one he did, he pretty much damn near signed a max deal for the max amount of years that you can actually play for a team. I think you can either do like 4 years or 5 years with a team. You signed up max extension and you out here making demands, my dude. No, that you want off. I can understand if you say, I put a couple players here and there, like a friendly meeting. Then my man is in here saying, yo, it's me or the coach. I can't even, I've never seen this before. Have you seen this before in the NBA, man? Like, what players have done this?
I mean, there have been, Magic Johnson had reportedly asked for Paul Westhead to be fired or him being traded.
Okay. Are we going to see that on Winning Time? Are we going to get some
I mean, they did it on Winning Time. They no, they didn't do it on Winning Time yet.
Okay.
That's after they won the championship.
Okay.
It hasn't
That's
happened.
even more weirder that you ask for that after you win a championship with that coach.
But you will see at Winning Time why Magic Johnson did what he did. But also they do have the Lakers doc that's premiering on Hulu on the 15th. So I know it's going to be talked about.
Is that Magic Johnson approved?
Yeah, that's the Lakers
approved.
That's Lakers approved. And and Magic Johnson's doc on Apple, they talk about it.
Okay, I gotta watch that too. I'm behind on that. I gotta watch that.
You can see that there. What's new here is what I said. He came to the organization. He was a free agent. Magic was drafted there. He came as a free agent, and they pretty much, according to reports, was like, "Here you go. What you want?" The coach, the coach at the time quit. And he's a pretty good coach. That team was not expected to do shit with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving not on there. And they did. And then they signed.
He sat out a whole season.
Yeah.
Sat out a whole season before he even played with the Nets.
And then they signed. Like the Nets was not expected to be what they were. And people were celebrating Kenny Atkinson for developing a young team. And then the next year, Kevin Durant and Kyrie come aboard, and he's gone. So I'm even thinking about it in a case where you had a coach that was you had two coaches, in fact. Because the way Jacques Vaughn coached in the bubble is way better than what Steve Nash has done as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. It's about coaching.
I feel like in this situation, I think Kevin Durant needs to just be a basketball. I would love for him to just be a basketball player. My man's just trying to be a GM and a player. You hoop, fam. Hoop. Let the GMs do their job, let the owners do their job, let the coaches do their job. Go out there and you do your job, fam. You out here trying to make demands and sign off on certain coaches and all this shit like that, bro. This shit is weak. And if I were other basketball teams, obviously you gotta send the house plus more just to get him. So then when you get him on your team, you have one bad season or a season where you don't meet, expectations with Kevin Durant on your team, then what's going to happen? What you going to do when KD says, "Oh, I want out of this situation," or "I want out of that situation"? And on top of the fact that he's on the back end of his career. He's on the back end, and when I don't say back end, we've talked about this on the previous pod, when I say he's on the back end, I don't mean that he's declining as a player, so to speak. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's still one Achilles injury, one hamstring injury away from being out 2-3 months, per season. Like, I don't understand how Kevin Durant is coming in with all of this type of, bullshit. This is bullshit for me, bro. And I'm not with it, KD, bro. I love you as a basketball player, but as yourself being an agent and a GM, bro, you doing all the type of whole moves that basketball players shouldn't be doing, fam. And I hate it. I hate it, bro. And if I was any team, fam, I wouldn't even offer shit for this nigga no more. That's
the next thing that I'm going with.
Because you gotta send the house. You gotta send the house plus more for him. You got to send the whole haul.
And that's the trick bag when you do this, which makes it even more confusing to me. Because Rudy Gobert, you got to
set the standard, bro.
He set the standard.
He set the standard on what you got to get a superstar, fam.
That's why it's so hard to even trade Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Because you got to send everything for him.
Because you got to. So if it's KD, who is top 3 in the NBA,
easy, bro. Easy.
You can't just trade him.
We can't just be like, here, we'll take a couple draft picks. Right. And we'll take that role player and take that role player. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, you will never get
a fair deal.
Value. This ain't the Herschel Walker trade, people.
Yeah.
It's this whole situation feels like everybody just needs to get in a room and talk.
Yes. Kyrie, KD, Nash, the GM, the owner, governor's wife,
Right.
Jay-Z. All them
Jay-Z
niggas
come back.
Get in the room, bro.
Dr. J come through, even though you was in New Jersey with the Nets.
Bro, get in the room, fam, and
Get in the
kumbaya this
room.
shit, bro. This shit is not right, bro.
Because it's just me, but if he gets traded to Toronto, he's in the same position. No, he's in the worse position.
He's not gonna win. He's not winning. Not winning.
I don't think KD. I don't think KD is winning in Toronto.
You can't send KD to Toronto and not give up their best player, who is Pascal Siakam.
And OG.
And OG and Nova. You need all of them. You ain't gonna win with Fred VanVleet, bro.
And the Nets want Scotty Barnes. And they like, no, we keeping him.
Nope.
Now, if you go to Boston, I think you're in the same position that you are with the Brooklyn Nets. You are on a team that, even with the lack of a head coach, is better than the majority of the teams in the East. And it's funny because look at the two teams that he requested. And I stand on this. Monty Brown is the best coach in the West. And Eric Spoelstra, to me, is the best coach in the East. I mean, coach.
Yeah.
Coach.
Mm-hmm.
They're the best coaches.
Facts.
And then you hear Toronto, Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach. He's probably number 2 as far as coach goes. And then you hear Boston, Ime Udoka, as our man Smitty said, he should have been the coach of the Bulls. And from a defensive perspective, he solidified. He outcoached folks.
Mm-hmm.
You got Monty Williams.
Mm-hmm.
You got Eric Spoelstra. You got Nick Nurse. You got Ime Udoka. To me, it is no coincidence that those 4 teams that they talk about most have the best coaches in the NBA.
Stand y'all ground, Brooklyn. Brooklyn Nets, stand y'all ground. Hold the line. This nigga KD, bro, is not on shit, fam. He gonna show up to work and he gonna do his job because he a hooper. He ain't gonna sit out. I can't see him sitting out and not going out there and competing, just because he's not happy with his coach situation, in a situation where he signed off on. I can't see it, bro. He's only 2 years into his new deal, fam. Hold the line, Brooklyn. Have another meeting. Get Ben Simmons in the room. Get Nash in the room. Get Kyrie in the room. It got to be another meeting held with, players and coaches, staff, all that. But y'all can figure this shit out, bro, because on paper, that team is legit.
But
it's legit on paper.
But that's also, this is where I look at what Stephen A said, and I'm like, yeah, Stephen A was probably 100% more than what I thought he was. Because I still say that to this day that Stephen A. Smith was speaking for head coaches when he was saying, black head coaches that day, when he was saying that no black man would get the job like Steve Nash is getting. I can't imagine Kevin Durant saying it's Sam Cassell or me. I'll just use one name that I believe should be a head coach right now.
Yeah.
I don't believe he would be like, yo, it's Sam or me. Sam is very well respected around the NBA and around black players.
Yeah.
I don't believe that would happen.
It's easy for him to sit there and say, yeah, it's me or Steve Nash, looking at the fact that obviously Steve Nash didn't have any type of coaching experience. Sam Cassell don't have head coaching experience, but plenty of assistant coaching experience. And like you said, well respected around the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets at this point, they can't just fire Steve Nash. They got to just wash their hands of that situation and say, hey, look, Nash going to get better, third year, third time's the charm. Let's get it right. I don't think they can't just sit there and fire Steve Nash. I think if you put Steve Nash in a situation to where he doesn't meet, say for instance, if you put Kyrie, KD out there on the floor this season with Ben Simmons, a healthy Ben Simmons, and they don't meet expectations, then you pull a Steve Nash move.
But see,
I don't see how they can't even convince Kevin Durant to even consider that as a scenario. Hey, take him to the side. Hey, play one more year with Nash.
So,
and then if it don't work out, boom. I don't understand how there's not people around that's not convincing KD to keep it moving with a coach that he signed off on in the first place. I'm not understanding how and at the end of the day, both years wasn't full healthy years. Like they didn't get the full potential out of either one of with the rosters. The two rosters that Steve Nash had both years, he didn't get the full potential with any of it. And I'm throwing Steve Nash a bone here. Like, I feel like he might get the job done if he goes out there with a full roster that he can have for a whole season that stays healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving the man the benefit of the doubt. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a well-respected player, Hall of Fame player. You know what I'm saying? I know he can get it going. That's me personally. You know what I'm saying? Giving Steve Nash the benefit of the doubt. And I think there's somebody in the organization that needs to convince KD to give the man the benefit of the doubt and go out there with his squad and play with the healthy team.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you, but here's the other thing. If you go in the season with KD as the coach, that means with Steve Nash as the coach, then you would have to feel comfortable in somebody taking those reins that KD likes. And to the point where even though he's I'm cool with this, I'm cool. I think it was literally like put it across. I could hoop or whatever. Steve Nash is your head coach. Jacques Vaughn is your lead assistant coach. They got Adam Caporn as your assistant coach. He's been there for a year. Trevor Henry is assistant coach. Igor Kokoslav, who is the former head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He came over from Europe. He was Luka's head coach. When the Suns hired him as their head coach, everybody assumed that Igor would be the head coach. Everybody assumed that the Suns would draft Luka, but they swerved everybody and draft DeAndre Ayton. It was like, what was the point of bringing dude over? Brian Keefe, David Vanderpool, who a lot of people believe should be a head coach, Ryan Kelly, Royal Ivy, who is KD's homie. Like, Royal Ivy is the homie on the coaching staff. Everybody got a home. Every star has a homie that's on the coaching staff. That's Royal Ivy.
That's why this shit is even more perplexed and confusing, bro. To why KD.
Tiago Splitter is on the staff, G.
You know what's crazy about Tiago Splitter? It's me and my brother was just watching Hardwood Classics, and it was the series with Ray Allen in the Miami Heat. And Tiago Splitter was on the Spurs, and I had literally forgot about Buddy, and that motherfucker looked just like Larry McCormick. But go ahead though, like that's his father. Go ahead though. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that out there. But yeah,
but it's like wild. It's wild to me. It is wild to me that this conversation is happening. It is also wild to me that you can go on the team, you could go in here and possibly have this situation. And people are saying, and I've heard it on TV all day, where people said that KD is not the type of person that would sit out, right? And I don't think so either. But could KD pull a James Harden? Could KD pull a Vince Carter?
Come to camp out of shape and shit?
Nah, I mean, it's hard for him to come to camp out of shape. Like, what I'm saying is not giving maximum effort. Because Vince Carter was on Toronto not giving maximum effort at all. I think that mark was like averaging like 15, 16 points per game. He gets traded to the Nets, and then he like broke off for like 30 or some shit.
So you willing to damage your legacy because you're not happy with your head coach, bro? That shit is I'm sorry, dog.
But see,
I can't.
again, like
Go ahead.
KD is gonna have to say, like, Steve Nash called me out my name a couple of times.
We need to know something, bro, because it can't just be, all right, I'm not happy with the direction of the team. Like you said, it's more to it. It's definitely more to it.
Because if you look at the direction of the team, when healthy, they have a team that could compete for an NBA championship. Now, if you're telling me you don't want a team to compete for an NBA championship, you want a team that's guaranteed to win an NBA championship, then say that. But the Brooklyn Nets, currently constructed, has the talent to go to the finals and win it in today's NBA. So what direction are you not happy about? Because on the court, if y'all healthy, y'all don't get swept by Boston.
Did they? I'm sure that these questions were asked in that meeting, and I would love to know the response.
I want to know the response.
What is the response?
The team.
He wants the first thing, he wants the GM and he wants Steve Nash.
Right, and that's what Sean Marks has done a great job of putting this team together. A great job at putting this team together. Starting with what they had to begin with when he became the GM, which is jack shit. He drafted well. He hired a good coach. They overachieved. And then they got KD and Kyrie. Then he got them. And he quit. The guy who was the good coach quit. He quit because y'all pushed him out. And then y'all say, yo, I'm cool with Steve Nash. So if you cool with Steve Nash, you got to be cool with the good, the bad, the happy, and the sad. We know he ain't the best coach, but you picked it. As Stephen A. Smith said, y'all could have went and got y'all not only a great coach, but a great black coach. And that's why I'm going to bring up again, Sam Cassell could have very well been the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And I think with Sam Cassell as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, they are in a lot better position. You'll see what that man over there trying to do with James Harden to make sure they get in shape and make sure that he learned that system.
Yep.
You'll see what he's doing.
Yeah,
that man could have very well been that coach, or shit, you could have got somebody experienced, even though I'm glad it didn't happen, Mike D'Antoni. But you didn't. You signed off on that man. Now you making an ultimatum that is you or him, like he cussed you out.
Mm-hmm.
He got to speak up.
Yep.
It doesn't seem believable, but I don't think that leak came from the Nets. I think that leak came from KD's team. Because the Nets truly don't get nothing out of leaking anything that's going to hurt the trade value of Kevin Durant. Because this hurts his trade value even more.
Extremely.
That you come out and you say it's him or me. Now you're like, oh, I ain't gotta offer all this stuff to get them. So you can risk going into training camp and getting the team that you want. I think that KD's team leaked it to try to force their hand to make a trade happen, because Rich Kleiman, which is his business partner, and KD, they don't give a damn what Brooklyn get back. Mm-hmm. If you hear Boston is offering Jaylen Brown, Derek White, some picks and some swaps, KD like, yo, that's a good trade. Get me out of here. The Nets like, nah, we need more. So the Nets don't get nothing out of leaking that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's even you working against yourself to do that. So not only do you ask to be traded or for the GM and the head coach to get fired, you leaking shit. Instead of just working with the team, or maybe they're not doing it as fast as you want because you don't care what they get back. So he would go into training camp with the Nets if it's me. He would go into training camp. He got 4 years left on that contract.
As he should. The
We gonna
ultimatum.
work it out.
What Brooklyn should do, and Brooklyn needs to reiterate back to KD is that you need to lay in this bed that you made and get up when you wake up in the morning out of that bed you made and go to work and do your job. That's what ultimatum need to be said to KD and his camp. That you not gonna strong arm us. You not finna. It's not going down. It's not going down. You getting paid excellent money to come to a winnable situation, to walk into a winnable situation here and succeed. That's me. That's me as the GM. That's me as the owner. You know, that's me as the Brooklyn Nets organization. Get in the bed you laid in when you wake up in the morning. Come to work and do your job.
Look, man, I'm really just ultra confused because he's on a team that's a title contender. If he gets traded to Toronto, he has less of a chance to win that title, I believe, than he does in Brooklyn. But it just seems to me that he wants to go from a title contender to a champion. Because when you say you want to get traded to Miami or Phoenix, those two are the number one seeds in the East and West. You want to get traded to the best team to become the champion.
Hey, DG, trade him back to OKC. Look, now, OKC got plenty of pieces. Shai Gilgeous, you got to give up Shai Gilgeous. You got to give up Lou Dort. You got to give up Josh Giddey. And you got to give up a bunch of picks.
That's the thing. OKC don't want that.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of those small market teams that got talent, I don't think because
it don't benefit them.
It don't benefit. Like the most interesting team as far as a small market with a whole bunch of young players is the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah,
that's interesting to me. That it's like, oh, okay, because you trade Jaren Jackson and a couple other players, but you still got Ja Morant. And you got KD, I'll take that as a start. But at the end of the day, does that team make you better than any of the top 4 teams in the West?
No.
Because as I predict, I don't think Memphis is going to be as good as they were this year. I think they take a step back.
Interesting.
I don't know, but KD just seems to me he wants to go for a team with a chance to win the title with. He wants to go from a team that has a chance to win the title to a team that is guaranteed to win the title because who we got on the team.
That's why the whole moves keep stacking up on top of each other, bro. First, you want to get traded. Second, you want to demand which teams you want to go to. Not demand. You want to pick which teams you want to go to. And the teams that you're picking are the teams that are at the top of each conference. The third thing that you're just stacking on stacking. And now you're going to reiterate to the team that you want to be traded, and it's either if you don't trade me, then you got to get rid of our head coach and our GM.
And you got to do that now?
You got to do it right now, bro. At this point in time, bro. I'm sorry, dog, but you are putting a damper on the NBA and you're putting a damper on the future of the NBA with players and their relationship with their teams, bro. This shit is so corny.
The owner's looking at the CBA like, yeah, we ripping this shit up. No, we ripping this shit up. And the Ben Simmons thing, whether it's cap or not, fam, I think that's another part about this too.
You know what, fam? I'm finna with all of this shit, bro, that's going on with Ben Simmons, with all of the rumors that's floating around about Buddy, fam. I'm rooting for this nigga, fam. I swear, I hope Ben Simmons has the season of his life.
But see,
because the rumors ain't looking good for you, my boy. But like I said, I'm the type of guy to give out benefits of the doubt. I'm a benefit of the doubt kind of guy.
You know why I can't give him the benefit of the doubt, G?
Why not?
Here's why I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving, and KD on paper is the Eastern Conference champions.
Easy, baby.
I don't give a damn the last time we saw Ben Simmons, he did whatever.
You think he should have went out there and played?
I'm not saying he should have went out there and played. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about when this season start.
Yeah.
With them 3 on the team, Joe Harris, Harris on the team, with some of the other pieces that they have on that team.
Seth Curry.
They are
adopted Curry.
They are the Eastern Conference champions to me.
For sure. I agree.
It has to be some truth to that rumor. That's why all of this shit's confusing. I don't give a damn if the last time we saw Ben Simmons, he threw up on the court. He's a year removed from all of that, and he has less pressure on him because he has the best player in the NBA and Kyrie Irving, who's going to take all the pressure off of you because everybody pays attention to him.
In Ben Simmons' defense, though, he don't have to answer to them niggas like they asking me like in a group chat. Yo, you hooping tomorrow, bro? He necessarily don't got to answer to them, bro. If he got
unless he led them on to say that he was going to play.
That's true.
And then they like, oh, so we see these rumors, fam. You hooping? And Ben Simmons.
But it's crazy to ask, like, when y'all down 3-1 in a series.
Because we need you, G.
You coming to play, bro?
You coming to play? Ben Simmons has left the chat. What? If that's true.
See y'all niggas next year.
If that's true, then I will understand. Now, from that standpoint, which is why I believe it, why put Sean Marks in the he needs to go category? If this is that's the only reason. Yeah. Hey man, we ain't really want to trade James. I ain't want to trade James, but you didn't really do what you can to keep James, and then you traded us for this bum ass dude that we asked if he was gonna play, and he left our group chat. That's the dude dog trade for. That's why I believe that this ain't cap. Okay. That's the main reason, because there's no reason to bring in the GM. There's no reason to do that. Yeah. So it's very interesting. We'll see. But I stand on it. I think my man wants to go from a title contender to a team that's guaranteed to win the title because you put me on it. And that's Phoenix or Miami. That's why he picked those teams. He didn't say he's my top 4 here and he's my top 4 there. They came out and was like, Miami and Phoenix are his number 1 and number 2 choice.
But the fact that he think that he can go to Phoenix Suns and they're going to keep Devin Booker on the team is asinine, bro. And, just not realistic.
Yeah,
not realistic thinking.
You might be right. This might be the biggest whole move in NBA history. This might be the biggest whole move in NBA history.
And he's just stacking on top of this shit, bro. Just keep stacking on it, bro. He's solidifying
whole moments,
3 5s, bro. 3 spots.
His whole moments happens in threes.
That's yeah, bro. It's just keep stacking on. Like, bro, dominant as a player, bro. But as him being his own agent and GM, bro, you looking like a real hoe right now, bro. The whole moves is looking real ugly for you, KD. Please, just go out there and hoop, my G. Go out there and hoop, bro.
Hey, man, but I'd love to see you, Zach, DeMar, Lonzo. They say they're optimistic about Lonzo now.
Of course. Come on. We would love to see you here, KD.
Bring them home moves here, man.
But it don't change the fact of how you come here, bro. It was a home move. But we going to thank you, though.
Hey, bring them home moves here. Pause. Bring them home moves here. Speaking of home moves, man, the Chicago Bears reportedly did a whole move to Roquan Smith. While Mike was upset about the KD part of the pod, this is where I'm probably going to get upset. Roquan Smith, star linebacker for the Chicago Bears, asked for a trade. Had a long soliloquy on an IG note that he wrote, basically saying that he feels that this front office regime, not ownership, this front office regime does not respect his talents, and they are lowballing him. They're giving him take it or leave it deals. Just trade me and get me out of here. Some of the things that I've heard on Twitter and from reports that the Bears offered him a deal worth $15 million a year, with de-escalation clauses, which from what I read, he would be the only player making $15 million and up. If he were to sign a deal, he would be the only person making $15 million and up in the NFL to have de-escalation clauses in his contract.
Okay.
And he feels like, he can't sign that deal not only for himself, but he can't sign that deal for other linebackers. Mike, I have been
Yeah, give me some
debating.
give me a little more insight on
I
this,
wouldn't
man. Is this
necessarily say.
is Ryan Poles? Are they not? He's not doing his job, bro. Like what is looking? Is this, the Bears looking shaky in the right?
I don't know,
Is Roquan Smith? Is he right?
but
Is he in the right now?
well,
Or
I'm just gonna say this.
so he was offered a deal.
Yeah, he was offered extension.
How
But,
many years?
I think it was like a 5-year extension. The
5 years. 5 years for
the norm extension.
15 a year.
Get 15 a year.
Okay.
He was now, mind you, just remember he was that. And I'm on. See, when I do these things, when I have these conversations, I don't go off of emotions or anything like that. I simply go off of what I see and hearing both sides. Also, when it comes to contracts, I ain't no agent. I'm not going to pretend to be an agent. So I'm not going to be one of those people that say he should get. Mm-hmm. If I was the GM, this is what I would do, because the closest that we're all going to be the GMs are on Madden. And you can lowball people on Madden and they're signed with you. All I'm going to do is compare stats with people and look at their contract and say, that might be your starting point right here. Now, when I look at Roquan Smith, he wants to be the highest paid linebacker in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people might say, well, I don't think he's worthy enough to be that. Is Desean Watson the best quarterback in the NFL, Mike?
Is Desean Watson the best quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah.
No.
Who's the highest paid player in sports? I'm just asking.
Well, yeah, are you asking me, is Desean Watson the best?
Desean Watson the best
quarterback in the NFL right now?
Yes.
No.
Is Desean Watson the highest paid player in the NFL?
Yes.
I asked you quarterback, but he's the highest paid
He's the highest paid player.
He has a $230 million contract.
Guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. Fully guaranteed. So he's not only the highest paid quarterback, but I think per year, he's going to be one of the top players the way that is. After this year, after the $1 million year, he's getting like $45 million next year.
Yeah.
So Kyler Murray just got a contract where he got $160 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. There's people that believe that, like, yo, he good, but that's not a contract that he's worth. Bring that up to say this. In 2021, the Indianapolis Colts made Darius Leonard the highest paid linebacker in the NFL.
Okay. And how much? What was his contract for?
His deal was worth 5 years. It was 5 years worth $99.2 million with a 52.5 guarantee.
Okay.
It would keep him with the Colts until he's 31, and he'd be a free agent till he's till 2027. Okay. So this contract is really him entering his prime, and he'll still be able to possibly get another big contract. Darius Leonard was 26 years old when he signed that contract. How old is Roquan Smith? Roquan Smith was 25.
Okay.
But he signed a deal, like I said, 99.2. The average per year is $19.7 million.
Okay.
So let's keep that yearly average on point. We know, and also keep in mind that NFL players want to get their money up front. They don't want backloaded contracts, because if some shit happen, you don't get your money. You get 14, 15 now, but talking about, at year 3 and year 4, you can get a contract that's worth $25 million. No, NFL players want their money up front, but then if they outperform said contract, then maybe in year 4, year 5, as early as year 3, depending on how cold things is, they renegotiate that contract. Now, Darius Leonard becomes the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, 19.7 a year. After him is Fred Warner. Fred Warner plays for the San Francisco 49ers. Fred Warner is 25 years old. Fred Warner signed a $95 million contract. He gets $19 million a year. His total contract is $40.5 million. So we're going to keep it at those two, because those two are the highest paid linebackers in the NFL per year. let's do a quick player comparison.
I'm doing it right now. Where you want me to start?
And let's do Roquan Smith and Fred Warner.
Okay, let's do it.
Because Darius Leonard is considered by many to be the best linebacker in the NFL. Roquan Smith is in the conversation. So is Fred Warner. They were all drafted, I believe they were all drafted in the 2018 draft. Or Darius Leonard might be a little bit before that. But I know Fred Warner is comparable by years and everything too. All right. So if we're looking at the total, if we're looking at totals, solo tackles, do you have it up?
I do have it up.
How many solo tackles does Roquan Smith have from 2018 to 2021?
From 2018 to 2021, Roquan Smith has a total of 348 solo tackles.
Fred Warner has what?
332 solo tackles.
Got him beat there.
Yes, sir.
QB hits.
QB hits.
So, you
got it. Yep, I got it. I got that.
What's that?
Roquan Smith, a total of 17 QB hits.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Warner has a total of 17 QB hits.
All right. Tackles for loss. What do Roquan have?
Tackles for loss. Roquan Smith has a total of 43 tackles for loss. Fred Warner has 22 tackles for loss.
Sacks. What the sacks look like?
For some reason, I don't see sacks on here.
Well, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Roquan Smith has 14 sacks. Fred Warner has 4.5. Fumbles, forced fumbles. Roquan Smith does have one, where Fred Warner has 6. Interceptions, Roquan has 5 compared to 3. They both got touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah.
Stats don't lie, Mike.
Yes, sir.
But somebody might say, nah.
Yeah.
Look at the 49ers compared to look at the Bears. Stats going to be comparable to that. And you also got to realize that the Bears went to the playoffs in these last 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah.
They went to the playoffs and they just didn't win. But I don't see the San Francisco 49ers with any titles either. So that is what that is on that. But anyway, Fred Warner got a $19 million contract a year. $19 million a year contract. Roquan Smith stats are better. Plus, Roquan Smith is a 2-time All-Pro. He beats him in that as well. So if you say, I don't think he should be paid like Darius Leonard, which I don't agree with, not because of talent, it's because when you enter the market and how the market look.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I could come to your job and they say, yo, I'm going to pay him $90,000. But somebody in another year when the company is doing good come in and they pay him $90,000. That's what happens sometimes. It's about the market, what that salary cap look like. That's why you see quarterbacks or running backs or other people that are like, damn, that's the highest paid. Because they came on the market where they started negotiating at the right time. This is the right time for Roquan Smith. So if I look at Roquan Smith, if I'm Roquan Smith, I'm not looking at Zach Cunningham's contract. Because as far as middle linebackers go, he's 5th.
I'm looking at the standard. I'm seeing where the standard is set at.
Right. Zach Cunningham got a $58 million contract, 14.5 a year, 33.5 total.
Okay.
CJ Mosley, he's 29, so he's even older. $85 million contract, 17 million, 51.
Damn.
Bobby Wagner, he's 31. This is when he was with Seattle. 54, $18 million a year, $40 million contract.
Damn.
He was the highest paid middle linebacker until Darius Leonard and Fred Warner got their money.
Yeah.
And when you look at both of their contracts, the person who is comparable to them is Roquan Smith.
Yeah, Ryan Poe's gonna have to pull out the checkbook, bro.
Let's say this too, because people say Darius Leonard. Since 2018, when Roquan Smith came into the NFL, he has the most tackles with 348. He has the most tackles. He has more tackles than the person who is the highest paid middle linebacker. Now, where does Darius Leonard have him on? Assisted tackles. No, I'm going to break it down.
Okay,
assisted tackles. Yeah. Darius Leonard has 195 to Roquan Smith 176. Combined tackles, Darius Leonard has 534. Roquan Smith has 524. So it's not even a big difference. When it comes to sacks, Darius Leonard has 15 sacks. Roquan Smith has 4. Darius Leonard beats Roquan Smith by a large margin in interceptions. He has 11. Roquan Smith has 5. Mm-hmm. In forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, 17-7 compared to 5-1, I believe, for Roquan Smith. That ain't enough to be like, yo, you can't get the same amount of money or a little bit more in this climate than Darius Leonard. Mm-hmm. So to me, and he doesn't have an agent, but people say, oh, you need an agent. The boy, I read an article about how my man finessed this whole college situation because reading the contract, and how the Bears, and I do remember when he got drafted, they changed that rule with the head and when you lead with your head, and it could be a personal foul and a potential suspension. So the Bears tried to put in his rookie contract that if he misses time for that rule, they could take some money back. So he's been through the finesse before with the old regime, and then the new regime reportedly is offering him $15 million, a backloaded contract, and de-escalators in there. So if he does not meet their criteria, they could take money back. Yo, he would be stupid to take that contract. He would be stupid as shit to take that contract. He has to take a contract that's comparable to the people that's in the group that he's in as far as the top middle linebackers. He's clearly one of the best middle linebackers, top 2. And he might not be 2 depending on the team you put him on, outside of the Colts or the Bears.
Yeah.
And the defensive coordinator for Darius Leonard is now the new head coach for the Bears. And then people were excited for Roquan Smith to be in this defense because Darius Leonard. I'm not advocating for him to get 19 to 20 million. What I'm saying is that comparable to the numbers, you can't pay him no less than that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And that's not Roquan Smith's fault. That's the market's fault. That's why the Baltimore Ravens is pissed at the Cleveland Browns. Y'all want to know why they pissed at the Cleveland Browns?
Because they got to give up that bag to Lamar.
And that bag went from where it was before to now Deshaun Watson gets a contract that's worth $230 million guaranteed. You think Lamar Jackson taking anything less than $230 million guaranteed when he was a unanimous MVP, has taken that team to the playoffs on the multiple occasions, and he has no off the field issues. He ain't Freaky Lamar.
They don't have no problem with him reading this playbook, none of that.
They ain't got no problem with masseuses. They ain't got none of those issues. The Cleveland Browns gave a man with off-the-field issues $230 million guaranteed. You not paying me no less than $230 million guaranteed. That's the same thing here with Roquan Smith. You can't tell a multiple-time All-Pro, a man who has more tackles in the NFL since he's been drafted, and the numbers are comparable to the two people making 19 mil. We gonna give you 15. If you don't make this shit, we gonna take some of that back.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't
Trade me.
I saw some people that say he not gonna get 100 mil. I don't see. Somebody would have to tell me why he can't get that based off that every contract you see is negotiated off of what I'm telling y'all right now.
Trade me. So let me ask you this though, Bang. So where does this? So he asked for a trade. So where does this leave Roquan? Is he going to get traded? Does the Bears
know.
Do they renegotiate his contract or renegotiate terms of a new deal, or does he actually get traded? And if he does get traded, what happens in that situation? Does he sign?
Yeah, go ahead. Now, see, this is what I would do if I was the Chicago Bears. And I hate what I'm about to say. But this is what I would do if I'm the Chicago Bears. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. Let's pay him $9 million. I call his bluff. I will call his bluff. He's currently on the PUP list. So being that he's on the PUP list, he can't get fined for anything. So I guess in this case, the Bears are showing, and a couple of teams are doing this new shit with putting players who are sitting out on the PUP list until they get their money or until they negotiate some shit. So as long as he's on that PUP list, he can't get fined or anything. I'll take him off the PUP list and see if you want to lose any of that $9 million this year. And let's see if he get his butt back on the field. And then the next year we renegotiate this shit. And then if he don't sign it, then I franchise him. I'm not losing Roquan Smith if I'm the Chicago Bears. I'm not. Unless you can find a team that's willing to get you multiple first-round picks for this dude, I'm not trading him. And that's what's going to have to happen. And that team has to be a team that is not in playoff contention. Like, I need to try to make sure that I get a lower first round pick, because chances are I'm probably going to have a top 10 pick. And some people are predicting I'm going to have a top 5 pick. Shit, some are predicting I'm going to have a top 1 or 2 pick.
Can you be put on the PUP list even though you're healthy?
Yeah, they're doing that with Roquan. The Seattle Seahawks did it with DK Metcalf. That's the new shit. Like, we want to show you some good faith. So since we want to show you some good faith, we're not going to fine you. We're going to put you on the PUP list.
Oh, they put you on the PUP list so you don't get fined.
Yeah, you're not going to practice anything like that. So we're going to put you on the PUP list. That's the new thing.
Okay.
But he deserves, based off of what I see with the people that are making $19 million a year with the money that they got, guaranteed. Easy. He deserves 100 on the dot at the very least. But you can't say we're going to give you 15 next year, 16 next year, and then at the back end of the contract, that's when you're going to get your 25 or 26. Because then knowing Roquan Smith is also hustling backwards to me for the Bears, because he's going to outplay that contract. Yeah. So then what you going to say in 2026? Oh, man, we're going to go ahead and, like he says, I want to renegotiate that contract. You say, no, man, you're getting paid $20 million a year. By that time, the market would have been raised. Mm-hmm. The market would have been raised at that time. So that's what's confusing to me about this when it comes to the Bears case. But at the same time, he don't really have a lot of leeway because he has one more year on that contract. He has one more year on his rookie contract, and they could franchise him for the next 3 years.
Why do teams do that, though? And they know that players of his stature, knowing that they're outperforming their, rookie deals. Why do teams do that? Because we've seen this happen with a lot of rookies going into their last couple years of their contracts, and they knowing that they want to keep this. They know they don't want to lose him.
I'll say this, Mike. I don't know why, but the Bears are gonna have upwards to $100 million of cap room next season. Mm-hmm. So you look at that and like, man, we got a whole bunch of money. Somebody gonna want some of this money. Yeah. But if you look at the Bears and you see how the Bears treated their star player, their best player on the team, make no mistake about it, Roquan Smith is the best player on the Chicago Bears, and you're lowballing him. You don't think that there's potential free agents looking at this shit and agents that's looking at this shit like, yo, I don't know about the Bears, fam. We already got to play in this old ass Soldier Field. Yeah, they supposed to be building a new stadium, but that shit ain't gonna happen until like 2026, 2027. Yeah. They got all of this money, and I know they got Justin Fields, but shit, what if they could try to lowball Roquan Smith? I know they could try to lowball Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Like
you don't better believe that agents and players are looking at the Bears, looking at the money, and looking at how they treating Roquan Smith. And if they sign Roquan Smith to a deal, that $100 million goes to 80. All right, cool. But you got your linebacker and your best player for the future, who's making, let's say 19.9 million.
You would think that that's like a given, like
what?
No hesitation here. I got my best player on offense. I got my best player on defense sold up for the next.
Now, I do have some theory. I do have some theories of why they don't want to do it. And I don't think a lot of Bears fans gonna want to hear what I have to say on this. But I do got some theories about why the team feel like why the team feels like that they don't have to pay this man this. Remember Jimmy Graham? Not the Jimmy Graham that played for the Bears, but Jimmy Graham when he was younger with the Saints.
For sure.
I mean, I know they're the same person, but they different.
Nah, Jimmy Graham in his prime was Jimmy Graham, and that was back in the day.
Jimmy Graham in his prime was playing like a wide receiver, but he was a tight end, right?
Big facts.
So he wanted to get signed as he wanted to get money as a wide receiver, not as a tight end, because a tight end gets less money than a wide receiver. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He filed a grievance, and the NFL ruled against him. One of the reasons why they ruled against him is in his Twitter account, it said tight end. It didn't say weapon. It didn't say wide receiver, tight end. It said tight end. So it's like, nigga, you a tight end. You said you was a tight end. Let's stop this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the money that he got was not comparable to wide receivers. It was comparable to tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
In this defense, it's reported that Roquan Smith is going to play weak side linebacker. He's not going to play middle. Nicholas Morrow is going to play middle linebacker, and Roquan Smith is going to play weak side linebacker. So you don't want to pay Roquan Smith the same amount of money that you would pay a weak side linebacker. The other part about this is that he, as the middle linebacker, he's not going to be calling plays. Roquan Smith was the play caller for the Bears as the middle linebacker, but now as the middle linebacker, he won't be calling plays. So it's less responsibility. So why we got to give you this money?
Really? Really?
You think I'm bullshitting?
Really?
Yup.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to read you this article that came out on the 30th from the Chicago Sun-Times.
Man.
Nicholas Morrow.
You said that's a theory.
Let me read it.
You think that's a theory. You don't think that's not a fact. Though.
I don't think, I definitely is a theory. Read this article that came out on the 30th from Chicago Sun-Times. Nicholas Morrow, not Roquan Smith, to handle huddle responsibilities for defense. Patrick Finley wrote this. Shouts out to him. Said whenever Smith returns to the field, he won't be the one relaying the defensive plays in the huddle. Coordinator Alan Williams said the team gives that responsibility to the middle linebacker.
So because my responsibilities decrease as far as calling plays, I should get less. I shouldn't get paid.
Hey, I've seen that happen before.
That's a theory.
Now listen again.
That's something that
Roquan Smith, a two-time second-team All-Pro, will play weak side linebacker whenever his contract dispute is done. Nicholas Morrow is the middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm. So
if he's not going to play middle linebacker, why do we have to pay him comparable to Darius Leonard?
Man, if they told me that, if I'm Roquan Smith and they told me that that's the reason why they wouldn't want to pay me my money, I'd tell the Bears to suck my dick. Just like that, bro. Straight like that, bro. And trade me immediately. trade me immediately. I've never heard of that in my life.
Because just even Mike,
what?
so Mike, let me add you to why my theory is this. Let me add you, Coach Mo, DG, Ross, if you still here, whoever watching. Let me explain to you all why I believe that is the case. Joey Bosa is listed as an outside linebacker. Von Miller is listed as an outside linebacker. TJ Watt is listed as an outside linebacker. But they're primarily rush linebackers, right? Mm-hmm. I look at a Harold Landry who rushes, but outside linebacker. I look at a Shaquille Barrett. I look at players like Matt Judon, Shaq Thompson, Preston Smith. Their contracts per year average is between $13 to $17.5 million. Mm-hmm. Whereas outside of the primarily rushing linebackers, Shaquille Leonard, not Darius Leonard. My bad, Darius and Shaquille. You want to be Shaquille. Darius Leonard has the $98.5 million deal, inside linebacker. Fred Warner is just listed as a linebacker. So that's why I use Fred Warner as the case study as opposed to anybody else, because he doesn't have a outside or inside or weak side of a Sam. He doesn't have that on him. Mm-hmm. But Harold Landry gets paid $17.5 million. Bud Dupree is a rush linebacker. Andy Gregory is a rush linebacker. Robert Quinn is an end in this. Mm-hmm. Shaquille Barrett, outside linebacker who do rushes, but he gets $17 million a year. Leonard Floyd is a rush linebacker. Zach Cunningham is an inside linebacker. Deion Jones, Matt Judon, $13 million a year. Shaq Thompson, $13 million a year. Preston Smith, $13 million a year. Do you see what I'm saying here? Mm-hmm. They look at him as weak side. We're not paying. That's where the finesse is at. Yeah. We got Nicholas Morrow playing middle linebacker now. So you're listed now as weak side.
That don't decrease my value or what I'm worth because of my quote unquote role on the field and in the huddle or whatever. Look, y'all want to, whatever y'all want to call it or whatever. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I don't agree if that's the theory. If that is if that is something that is brought into play in contract negotiations, that is BS. That is BS. Respectfully, I don't agree with such actions, bruh, in the contract negotiations.
When you start having those conversations about Sam, Mike, and Will, that's when you want to have. That's when you start seeing, oh shit, he's the Will linebacker. Yeah, Nick Morrow is the Mike, mm-hmm. and whoever that is over there is gonna be the Sam. The Sam is the strong side linebacker. G. The weak side linebacker is the dude. He's still gonna play like the middle. He's still gonna play a little bit of the middle of the defense, but he's not the defensive. He's not the middle linebacker, mm-hmm. and that's gonna change your money. Yeah,
that's BS.
He's going to make the plays. The Mike is going to be the quarterback. He's going to be running back and forth around that joint.
Bears, pay that man, bro, or trade him. Hey, I'm with you, Roquan. I'm team Roquan on here. Given the details, I need a little more insight on this.
Like it's not like, because that's the crazy part. As the weak side linebacker, he should be roaming around that field like he's like this. all day long, while Nicholas Morrow is basically playing point guard and man in that middle. Whereas he's this. Yeah. Like how Urlacher was going back and forth, the way that he was going, but the designation of your title is what kills you when it comes to your pay. I can damn near guarantee they say these how much will linebackers get paid, as opposed to this how much middle linebackers get paid, and that's what we gonna pay you. Mm-hmm. And they trying to finesse him like that. That's literally the only reason that I can think of, and I might be hella wrong. Mm-hmm. I might be hella wrong.
I would hope in that case you're wrong. I would hope that's.
I would hope so, because when you look at the designation of, and I'm simply talking about designation of position. That's why I brought up Jimmy Graham, because Jimmy Graham wanted to be paid as a wide receiver because he lined up in the slot a lot. He lined up on the outside a lot. He played the position along with playing tight end, but he was listed as a tight end. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that that's part of the reason why they have lowballed Roquan Smith.
But when Jimmy Graham putting up wide receiver numbers though, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's why are we not having this conversation? Why are we having this conversation? Why are we having this conversation?
Yeah, man. Football teams got to do better with they up and coming star players, man. And
especially if they offered that man $15 million. If it's true they offered that man $15 million, you can't tell me my theory is not correct.
Not seeing what the market is, man, and you lowball me like that, though, like that shit is weak, bro.
He's not going to be Khalil Mack. He's not going to be Joey Bosa. He's not going to be Von Miller. He's not going to be TJ Watt. And the thing is, with those four, they play a 3-4. They play a 3-4, not a 4-3. The Bears is going back to a 4-3. The Bears have been playing 3-4 for the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. The Bears are moving back to 3-4.
Interesting.
So that's why Khalil Mack is the highest paid linebacker technically. Or no, actually Joey Bosa technically is the highest per year. Khalil Mack has the highest contract overall, but the highest per year, I believe, it's TJ Watt, because he had just signed his deal. Mm-hmm. So TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Von Miller, Khalil Mack are listed as linebackers, but they're 3-4 linebackers, so they primarily rushing. Mm-hmm. And I even think Harold Landry, I think Tennessee played a 3-4-2. But yeah, fam, man, that's the finesse, fam. And
there you go, DG. Yeah, because Parsons gonna get a bag. He should. I ain't gonna say he is, but if Parsons continues on the upward trend with the magnificent season he had last year, he continues that upward trend, bro. The linebacker market is gonna change even more, bro. He gonna say
bingo, and that's
gonna change more.
And that's part of the reason why Roquan Smith can't take that dumbass contract. All right, now let's go over to some big.
Before we get to that too, I think the Ravens team as an organization, they some hoes for not paying Lamar Jackson, and they got him out there and trained like he's willingly to go out there. That's cool.
That ain't cool. That's dumb as hell. If I was Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't have set foot on that goddamn field.
Exactly. I wouldn't either.
That's the dumbest shit.
But respect to that man for doing that shit. Though,
respect the shit. That man, his ass fucking slip. That motherfucker slip and fall and hurt his back. I'm like, oh well, we not paying you $230. Like, nah, fam.
The Ravens need to pay that man.
I would not set foot on shit until I get $235 million guaranteed. Fuck you talking about?
They got to get that man some money. They got to give him.
And to keep it a buck, it's hard. We got to negotiate this. Man, you sure we got to give you that? Like, that's not an easy negotiation. Like, that's why. And we're about to talk about Deshaun Watson, because some news just came down from the commissioner. I thought we was over Freaky Sean. We was over Freaky Sean for this week at least. We ain't. An article just came down from Jeff Legwold from ESPN. It says that NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said that evidence calls for at least a 4-year suspension for Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. It says that Goodell said that the NFL seeks a tougher penalty for Deshaun Watson than his 6-game suspension because the quarterback's actions were egregious and predatory behavior. Now, to the point of Roger, that's what was said in the goddamn 15-page report, that this was egregious, the most egregious, and he participated in premeditated predatory behavior. Just reading a little bit of the article. Roger Goodell said, "We've seen the evidence. She was very clear about the evidence. She reinforced the evidence," Goodell said, talking about Sue L. Robinson, the arbitrator, the independent arbitrator. Mm-hmm. There were multiple violations that was egregious, and it was predatory behavior. So just reading through it. She's no precedent. All right, cool. So they're just basically reiterating what Sue L. Robinson, the independent arbitrator, said in the 15-page report, talking about his suspension, and saying that that's why he deserves the year. Now, I'm still shocked that he only got six games based off of what she said as well, which where I was like, she should have just shut her ass up, if that was the case. But here's, because I forgot who it was in the group. Let me make it very, very clear. You do not have to be charged with a crime to violate the NFL personal conduct policy. If they find out that you violated any of the terms of the policy, you don't have to be charged with a crime, but you was doing some dumb shit and we could suspend you. And that's why I believe that the independent arbitrator said too much. Because in the report, you said that his behavior was egregious. And even more than that, you said that man participated in premeditated predatory behavior.
If the arbitrator leave out that statement and give him the 6 games,
we good. We good. Again, anything that I say is not because of personal feelings or the man trying to take them down and nothing. I'm just reading what people say. And if I'm reading what she says, she said my man was a freaky ass perv that was doing some bullshit. But the NFL gave Ben Roethlisberger 6 games and then they settled on 4. So I'm going to give him 6 games and y'all go from there. I didn't say that last week. But that's what I literally think she did. She said, man, the last time that the NFL had a case like this with a player like this was Ben Roethlisberger and his rape allegation, which turned out to be his 2nd rape allegation. They investigated it and they gave him 6 games and then they settled on 4. But since y'all gave him 6 games, that's the precedent set. So I'm not going farther than the precedent that is set.
That's a bad way to look at it.
That and again, God damn, Vince.
You see that? That's what I'm saying. I got to say what
damn. Vince was out here playing Freaky Desean and Freaky Vince. Vince. We gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
If y'all ain't got that alert, but Freaky Sean and Freaky Vince, that's wild. But if that's the precedent that's set, if his case was worse than Ben Roethlisberger's, though, because they said this was the worst brought to the NFL's attention, the most egregious, excuse me. Let me reword that. They said that this was the most egregious, and that's why last episode I was like, the most egregious? Ben Roethlisberger got accused of rape twice. That's why we call him Bathroom Ben. They gave him 6 games. They settled it to 4. You said that this was the most egregious, so that would be a part of the egregiousness that came to the NFL's table. And you gave him the same amount of games. Actually, you gave him 2 more games than Ben Roethlisberger. So you can say, hey, man, Ben only got 4 because they settled on 4. Like he appealed and they went to 4. Yeah. So I gave him more than Ben Roethlisberger, technically. So that's how I'm looking at what Sue L. Robinson said. But the wording, sometimes you just got to. Because now Ben Roethlisberger, like, oh, no, hell no. No. I'm saying the same thing she's saying. This is egregious. He should at least get a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild for him. But That's the breaking news that just came down. And also in an SEC filing, the WWE declared that former chairman and CEO of the WWE, Vince McMahon, made two previously undisclosed payments in 2007 and 2009, totaling $5 million, bringing his undeclared personal payments total to $19.6 million. The payments were discovered amid a WWE investigation into allegations that Vince McMahon paid millions of dollars in hush money to multiple women to keep them quiet about alleged affairs and misconduct. God damn, Vince. This is $20 million you gave over some cat.
Hey, it ain't tricking if you got it is the most. Hey,
damn.
Hey, it's cliche, but that shit is real life right there. You hear me? Most realistic cliche possible, fam. It ain't tricking if you got it, fam. My man Vince out here wilding, boy.
It's gonna come a point that they're gonna make that man sell his shit.
His shares?
He gonna sell his shares. He gonna have to sell his shares. So
I don't think so.
G gonna have to. G, I think before this year's over with, I think somebody else is gonna own the WWE, and Vince McMahon has the most shares in the company. So whoever buys Vince McMahon shares is gonna buy the company. So Apple, Amazon, Disney, they looking at that joint. Vince McMahon gonna come out of this with about $4 or $5 billion. He gonna pay $20.6 million to come out of this with about $4 billion and have to pay a fine that's gonna be less than what he's gonna get for his shares. So Freaky Vince might win out in like what Donald Sterling did. God damn, Vince.
Hey, Vince.
$20 million.
Oh yeah, Vince. Oh yeah.
Man, shit. He been holding his head too much. That's the problem. Freaky Vince. All right, man. Your girl, man, announced that she will be retiring soon. Serena Williams reportedly will be retiring after the U.S. Open. It's definitely a legendary career. She has one more major to go with. Where she would tie or she would pass. Okay, she would tie. Who was that? Margaret Court or
yeah,
right. She would tie Mark. See, I know. She would tie Margaret Court with the most majors in tennis, women's tennis. Will she get that at the U.S. Open? I am not sure. But you love Serena Williams, the tennis player. Yes. What's your thoughts, man?
Hey, man, I kind of knew it was coming, but I love the fact that I'm all about a good victory tour. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about the farewell tour, I should say. I love a good farewell tour. So she's going to go out there, and then the only thing that is tricky about this one is that in the sport of tennis, if she does say she's playing in the U.S. Open and she goes out there and get bumped in the first round, we really ain't getting no victory. We ain't really getting no tour. When you get knocked in the first round, you know what I'm saying? Like she did at Wimbledon. But in her defense, it was her first match that she had in over a year. She's currently playing in a tournament right now, and yesterday she just won in straight sets. So, maybe she'll make a run, and this is like a little warm-up, and, she'll perform better at the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open is the first major that she ever won, so she's going out, in the first major she ever won. This will be the last major that she plays in. So you love to see that, and obviously, she's on the back end of her career, and you would love to see her push for 24. And she was looked at, and at one point in time, it looked like she was going to soar over that. And, but then she ended up, having a baby and then having, deal with injuries and shit like that. So you hate to see that. But at the end of the day, man, I love Serena Williams. Serena Williams and Venus are the reasons why I watch tennis, and the reason, and they made tennis, a fun sport to watch, and made me fully aware of other great tennis players. And, and if it wasn't for Serena and Venus, I wouldn't watch tennis. Then the same thing with golf. I wouldn't watch golf if it wasn't for Tiger Woods. And I'm very fully aware of other great golfers, and, and well aware of the history of those sports. And those two sports are sports that, Black people aren't necessarily involved in or not necessarily fans of. But when you got a GOAT like Serena, who's such a dominant player in that sport, bro, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, and you gotta just tilt your hat and give her a big salute. And hey, you're gonna hate to see Serena go, but I'm pulling for her, of course, to you know what I'm saying, do the unthinkable and win the US Open. I would hope that she even make a strong push. She ain't gotta win it, but if she can make it to the quarterfinals, semifinals, I'm all for it. But the victory, the farewell tour can't happen and her getting knocked off in the first round. We need to see her win at least a couple
Yeah, man.
but that's my
Damn.
my thing on it.
Yeah, she 40, so you know it's time.
Yeah, on the back, yes, of course. 40 years old. I mean, you can't go out there and do it forever, you know.
Yeah, you can't go out there and do it forever. It's definitely like sad to see, people that you go and watch and retire, even though it's inevitable. So like I was watching tennis before Venus Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Pete Sampras, of course. Yeah, we know about
Pete
some of the
Sampras,
goats, but
Andre Agassi, Yvonne
absolutely.
Lindell,
Steffi
Steffi Graf,
yep,
Monica Seles,
for sure.
Many more. What's that? Bjorn Borg.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot my man. Forgot how you pronounce it or whatever. So it was just when we saw Serena, and I remember when I first saw Venus at Wimbledon, and I remember I think it was Peter Enberg or whatever was like, yeah, she possibly is the future of tennis, and then she got a sister that's probably better than her, and they had the bees, and I was like, oh shit, these black girls, like these black girls,
facts,
and then you start to see them like grow and develop and dominate, and then you really saw Serena develop. Man, wow.
Serena not only became a great tennis player, but at the end of the day, became a sex symbol.
Right. So you like, yo, I remember, I think it was the ESPYs a couple of years ago when she walked off the stage and you just heard a God damn. Like Ed dude up in there was like, shit.
For sure.
But like, unlike an Anna Kournikova, like, who was a Russian who had a lot of potential in tennis.
Yep.
She damn near just basically became a model who was playing tennis. Whereas you saw Serena and Venus do all of these things and still stay dominant.
Yep.
And that's when you one of the greats, G. That's an underrated part of being a great. Because I grew up in Mike, but I didn't grow up with Mike, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he gets drafted in 1984.
Yeah.
And, about time I'm watching basketball, Mike is one of the best players in the NBA.
Yep.
Like, I grew up with title Mike. Yep. I didn't grow up fully with Michael Jordan.
Same.
Right? And with LeBron James, I was old enough to be like, I still fuck with Mike and everything. But the reason why I bring them two up is because I feel like, especially at the age that I'm at, that I grew up with Venus and Serena. I grew up with them. Serena is the same age as me. So it's like, you see somebody on TV at Wimbledon, you 16, 17 years old, you like, damn, what the fuck she over there playing tennis with these white folks and kicking their ass too.
Yep.
And then you see everything she was doing, modeling, clothing line, training, all these businesses, red carpets, killing people in tennis.
Yep.
That's why you look at Michael Jordan, all the commercials, the shoes, eventually movies with Space Jam, the pressure of being the greatest player in the world in basketball. And you got to go play a basketball game where everybody looking at you. Some are looking at you in awe. Some at you are looking like you a freak. Some are looking at you like, man, I hate he failed.
Yep.
So imagine Serena Williams doing that in a white, male-dominated sport with the body type and structure unlike anything that was ever seen, coming in with the beads, then doing her own thing, coming in with the black cat suit, and knowing
legendary,
or not knowing that every man, the white man, black man, Hispanic, was going to be looking at you like, God damn. Some people are looking at you like, oh man, this is not what tennis is. And you saw some majors say, oh no, nah, we ain't doing that catsuit shit here. You gotta wear the shorts or the skirt and stuff like that. We don't need this. This is not the club. Pressure, fam. And then you have a daughter, but you get pregnant, not know that you're pregnant, and you win a major 8 weeks pregnant.
Legendary.
I'm not saying this as a hot take. I'm just saying this just based off of what I see, and adding what you have to deal with on a daily basis. I'm not mad at anybody that puts Serena Williams on their Mount Rushmore as one of the greatest athletes of all time. It is something that I would not debate, because she would probably be on mine, because she would probably have to deal with more than the average star, because she's not only a woman, she's a black woman in a singular sport. It's not a team sport. It's her on that court. And what she did to become the athlete that she became, with the longevity that she did it, because it's still shocking to see tennis players playing till 40. Like seeing her and Roger Federer in their late 30s, early 40s, still out there playing at a high level. A Nadal who of course, is one of the greatest players of all time, but he had stretches where he was unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And come back and doing it. In tennis, like I think he was like late 30s, early 30s or whatever, mid 30s. But I remember when Jimmy Connors was going through the retirement thing, and I think it was either the US Open or Wimbledon, where he won.
Yeah.
I believe he won it. And people was like, wow, because he's at the advanced age of like 34. What?
Yep.
And I watched the Arthur Ashe doc on HBO Max the day before yesterday. And Arthur Ashe stopped playing when he was like 33.
Mm-hmm.
So the longevity in tennis, like a lot of people start playing early and they end early. She's been playing tennis professionally since she's been like 16 years old. Mm-hmm. You have some people who start like her last name is Austin. I can't remember her first name. But she started playing when she was 14 and she fizzed out. Jennifer Capriati started young. She fizzed out. A lot of players who started at the age at that Venus and Serena started off at fizzed out by their mid-20s, early 30s. She's 40.
And that's what separates Serena from everybody else. And I want to piggyback off of what you said about Serena when you said about like dominating a sport and also venturing off to do other things like acting and, modeling and, endorsements and all of that other, shit that comes with it, and the things that you are blessed with because you're dominant in such a sport, and being able to go out and perform, still go out and be able to perform at a high level and dominate the sport. And I know everybody looks at like, we got and also she paved the way for other up and coming tennis players like, Coco Gauff and Sloane Stephens and Naomi Osaka. And I know Naomi Osaka looked at like she was going to be the one to take the heir to the throne because she knocked off Serena at the US Open just a few years ago in controversial fashion as well,
right.
in a dominant fashion too. But the thing is, I was just talking to my brother the other day because Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka was playing. Was playing against each other, and Coco beat Naomi in straight sets. And I think this is like Naomi's first tournament back in like, a few months or whatever like that. She's been the past year or so, she's been like taking tournaments off due to, her dealing with mental health issues. And, and a lot of that has to do with because she's not able to handle the pressure and things that's being said about her in the media. She still has to learn how to deal with certain things like that at such a young age. And Serena was able to do that. And Serena was that. That's why it's no comparison, and that's what separates Serena from all these other people. And there will be, and I think it's going to be a long time before we see any player, any woman tennis player, walking those type of footsteps that Serena Williams did, and see to play at a dominant level that she played in, and be able to handle that pressure, and be able to, you know what I'm saying, venture off and do other things and still dominate at that sport. That's what separates Serena from everybody else. Because my brother, he mentioned it. He was like, man, Joe, Naomi ain't, she lost in straight sets, but her head ain't in it mentally because she can't handle the pressure of being a star. She can't handle it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just certain things that just separate Serena from everybody else, man. So,
but see that's definitely part of the reason why I brought that up.
Yeah,
because people don't understand that pressure that you have to deal with when you at that level.
Yep.
We could talk all the debates about who's better, LeBron or Mike, and who's the best boxer and who's the best baseball player and all of that stuff, but also understand that the pressures that come with it. I don't think LeBron James is the best player of all time. I don't. But Doc Rivers had said something, and I didn't agree. I think it was Doc Rivers. He had said something that I did not disagree with, where he said that LeBron James had to come in and be the best player of all time. Well, Michael Jordan didn't. Michael Jordan didn't have the expectations on his shoulder that LeBron James did. Michael Jordan came in as the third pick of the NBA draft. All the expectations was Hakeem Olajuwon being the number one pick. The league was still the land of the big men at the time. That's why the two first picks were Hakeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie. So then when Michael Jordan came in, I still remember watching that draft, was like, yeah, he has to get his shooting better, but he's an athletic guard, blah, 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 blah. If you look at The Last Dance, Doc, Mark Eaton was like, yeah, he's good, but he's coming in here with big men. It's still a big man's league. Nobody expected nobody expected the world to be like Mike. But with those extra added pressures that came with what LeBron had with him, I understand when somebody says, hey, Bron had more pressure than Michael Jordan coming in.
And that's true.
I get it.
Michael Jordan didn't chase ghosts. He became a ghost to chase.
Right.
Everybody chasing Mike. Everybody chasing the ghost of Mike. Mike didn't have to chase nobody. Mike became his own ghost.
So with Serena Williams, what ghost was she chasing that we know, that we cared about? She was paying attention to a woman that, Margaret Court was probably dead while she was playing. She's now a ghost. Whether she wins the U.S. Open and ties Margaret Court or not, she's the ghost that you have to chase. So a Naomi, a Coco Gauff, and what's the other black chick name?
Sloane Stephens?
Yeah, Sloane Stephens.
Yeah.
They chasing her.
Yep.
But then all of these white people and these European and all of these people, they chasing her. She's the ghost now. That's why she very well could be on my Mount Rushmore of athletes, because she's now the ghost that you have to chase. And the thing about it is I don't know if anybody mentally has the capacity to chase that ghost.
Facts.
Especially a person of color in this sport.
That sport is so prestige and just, this is one of those sports, man, that you just gotta be extra dominant in, fam, to succeed. And I don't think we ever gonna see anything, at least not in this lifetime. My lifetime, I don't think I'll see it. You got the youngins like Coco. Coco, hey, she got to the Wimbledon finals, but at that time, Serena and Venus was winning that shit. So, hey, like you said, that extra pressure to try to be like them, fam, it's on a whole nother level, man.
It's nothing like it, Jack.
Nothing like it.
It's nothing like it. All right, man. So that's all, man. That's it, man. Any hot takes you got? You
Yeah. Nah, I ain't got no hot takes. We good. I don't got no
NFL
hot takes.
preseason started, so this weekend I think you got a game, right? We got a game at 12.
Yeah, the Cowboys play. I think the Cowboys have to play. I don't even know. I haven't really looked.
We play the Chiefs.
I'm only interested in the games where we're gonna see some of these young rookies and shit play. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you interested in the last preseason game, baby?
Yeah, I want to see the last. The Cowboys got. Oh, the Cowboys played. Oh, you know what? I am interested because Russell Wilson might play this week. We got to play the Broncos. They say Russell Wilson might go out and take some snaps, so I'm interested in that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of preseason action. If you want to do some fan duels, just take the unders. Take the unders right now for the preseason games. I remember a ticket. I remember a ticket last year where somebody took every under in 1 week of preseason and all them shit slapped. So take the if you're looking for some bets, you're not gonna be able to pretty much do no same game parlays. But if you want to, you know what I'm saying, build your bankroll up, take a few unders, man. Take some unders. I don't think you're gonna see the ball going in the end zone too much.
Yeah, let's get it. I'm getting my money back. Last but not least, man, I want to spend my hot take time to wishing my will be after next week my 8-year-old son a happy birthday.
Trey Day
8. Trey turns 8 on August 15th. So his birthday is right. His birthday is right around the corner. And I am very happy to see my man's grow up 2 years from being 10 years from graduating from high school, which means that I'll be 50. These kids are getting old, man. Liam swung on Landon yesterday and got mad at me because I told him to stop. Liam is 1, ladies and gentlemen, and Landon is 3. So it's been interesting to have 3 boys, but the OG of the Davis boys turned 8. So happy birthday to him, taking that time on the pod to do that. Other than that, man, we are out. Oh, before we go, remember, this is for anybody that can attend, man. We got 2 shows that's coming up this month. August 18th at Haymarket Pub. Shouts out to Scott, Joe, and the gang. They're doing 79th and Hallis, episode 200 live at Haymarket Pub. So we're celebrating with.
What day is that on?
That is on Thursday. It's on a Thursday. So get your tickets. Yeah, get your tickets. They're just click the link in my bio. They're Eventbrite tickets. You got to make sure that you get those tickets to join us. So go ahead and get that and join us. And then that next week, shouts out to 7-1 and the Viper crew. We have another show at the Promontory that is on August the 24th. I believe that is a Wednesday. Going to be some dope performances again. So you could go get your tickets for that as well. So 2 shows. Come kick it with me for August. After August, I'm probably going back inside because y'all fucking it up with new strands of COVID and monkeypox out there. The monkeypox episode was last week. Mike, end us off.
Hey, man, yeah, before we go to... Oh, man, I watched ending the Ozark, bro. That shit pissed me off, bro.
Why?
That ending pissed me off, bro. I ain't like that. I ain't like the ending. But Ozark...
You was mad that your girl got killed.
Ruth, bro. Oh, yeah, this is a hot take, bro. Ruth Langmore, fam. One of the coldest white characters in a TV show ever, fam. Her and Max from Stranger Things, fam. I'm getting t-shirts with both of them on it, bro. Ruth Langmore, you're going to see me on a pod with a Ruth Langmore shirt and a Max shirt from Stranger Things. I need both of them. They're my 2 favorite characters right now of the last 2 shows I didn't watch. And you know what? I hate to do this, but Entourage was in my top 5, but Ozark might have slipped in and knocked Entourage out the top 5.
Ooh,
the top 5, the last 2 shows that I done watched has entered the top 5. have entered the top 5. Ozark and Stranger Things. So yeah, shout out to
I'm on Better Call Saul again. I'm on season 2, episode 7.
All right, I might have to get on
So
that.
on that, I'm getting on that right now.
I think I'm gonna watch Euphoria next. Then we're gonna watch me and the
Oh,
wife.
you ain't. Oh, I thought you was on there. You about to watch the best
I
crackhead ever in life.
Yeah, I think I'm on Euphoria.
She
next.
is Rue is the greatest crackhead in TV history. I stand on that.
That's the next show.
The full frontal is what's going like. You can be like, this is a little bit too much. The male full frontal.
Okay.
But once you get past that, you're gonna be okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that
too. And the Arthur Ashe doc.
Okay.
If just on some historic purposes.
Yeah.
Watch the Arthur Ashe doc. I learned more. Arthur Ashe was more militant than schools taught us.
Facts.
Let's put it to you like that. He was more militant than what schools taught us. So check out that Arthur Ashe doc on HBO Max.
All right, cool. But yeah, that's all I had for that. See, look, Osaka withdraws in Toronto. Retired from her opening match she had a back injury, but hey, Naomi Osaka is not having good luck right now, but I digress. But yeah, that's all I got. Some Do Pod. Make sure y'all rate, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe. Join the group on Facebook, # Some Do Pod if you haven't, and if there's other people that that might be interested in joining the group, send them an invite, have them come into our community, and get involved with the conversation with all the hot takes and debates. Like us on Facebook @Some Do.
Yes, sir.
On IG @SomeDoPod, @MikeB_CHR, @JRBang, also on Twitter @SomeDoPod, @JRBang, @MikeB_CHR, and that's all we got. Peace.